The President, please be seated. The court is now back in session. We shall continue hearing testimonies of the witness, the questions to be put by the prosecutor. Mr. Co-Prosecutor, you may now proceed.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Sotong, were you able to find some reading glasses during the break?
Response, yes, indeed. I now managed to have a pair of glasses.
Okay, if we could, Mr. President, if we could put the photograph back on the screen and have the witness look at it again with his glasses. Mr. Sotong, now that you have your glasses, are you able to identify for us some of the people in that photograph?
Response. I remember 4 individuals precisely. The rest, I don't know. On the left, Pol Pot and Nuon Chea. On the right-hand side, Won Wait in the front, and Tamok on the second at the second seat. And the rest of the individuals are not known to me.
Thank you. In your travels or trips with Nuon Chea, when he would go to the countryside, did you ever travel with him by train anywhere?
Response, yes, I did, but only on one occasion when we traveled to Battambang province.
Do you remember approximately when it was that you traveled with Nuon Chea by train to Battambang?
Response, I don't remember the exact year. It was sometime in 1977 or so.
And who else went with you when you traveled with Nuon Chea by train to Battambang?
Response, I only went alone with him to provide security for him.
What did Nuon Chea do on that trip to Battambang?
Response, I don't know, but he met with Ta Nyim, and I was outside.
You testified yesterday that Nuon Chea would meet with Ta Nyim at a abandoned pagoda that was on the main road. Was that the Wat Kandal pagoda that's on the river and main road in Battambang? Is that the pagoda?
Response, to put it simply, I don't remember the name of that pagoda, and I was not very interested in remembering the name of that pagoda. I just followed the other people on that road.
Thank you. On these trips to the provinces, did Nuon Chea ever go to Kampong Thom to meet with Kai Pak?
การอดอ่อนอดเคย
Response: No, I didn't see that.
Did you ever see Kai Pak in Phnom Penh?
គាត់ធ្លាប់មកដែរ
Response: Kai Pok used to come to Phnom Penh.
How often did he come to Phnom Penh?
នឹងទៅយូរម្ដង
Response: Not quite often, occasionally.
And did you provide protection to Mr. Noon Chea? Did you serve as his bodyguard when he attended meetings of the Standing or Central Committee?
ការពារខាងក្រៅរួម
Response: I provided security at the exterior of the locations. Sometimes our group would be deployed. Sometimes we had to remain at the office and the other team would take turn to provide such a security.
Where were those meetings held?
ស្គាល់ដែរ
Response: I don't recollect the location. It was a long time ago.
Thank you for your answering the questions, Mr. Suatung. Before I turn it over to the other parties, there's one other thing that I want to give you an opportunity to explain to the Chamber. As I think you recall, when you were first interviewed by the co-investigating judges on the 4th of December 2007, you denied that you were the bodyguard or messenger of Noon Chea. And 2 years later, on the 2nd of December 2009, you participated in a confrontation with Deutsch in which he identified you as Noon Chea's messenger. And it was the following day, the 3rd of December, when you came back and talked about your role as his messenger and provided details about that. I expect the defense will ask you questions about this, but I wanted to give you an opportunity to explain to the judges, to explain to the Chamber why, when you were first interviewed, that you denied being the bodyguard of Noon Chea. Can you explain why you did that?
Response: Well, back then I was so fearful. I was traumatized by the regime and I didn't want to face this event again. So I said so out of fear, but now I was better aware, so I talked the truth.
Do you understand now that you are here just as a witness in these proceedings and that you are not accused of anything yourself?
Response: I don't quite understand this.
Do you understand now that you are here in these proceedings as a witness and not as a suspect, not as an accused? Do you understand that?
Response: Yes, I do. I am here in my capacity as a witness.
And do you understand the importance and promise to tell the truth for the questions that you're going to receive from the other parties and from the judges if they ask any questions? Do you promise you will tell the truth in this courtroom in responding to all those questions?
Mr. President.
បាទ
Mr. President.
The President, Counsel, you may now proceed.
This is highly improper for the prosecutor to be coaching the witness and trying to extract some sort of a promise. The gentleman took an oath. He took an oath before he came to court. Frankly, I prefer the oath being given in court in the presence of the judges so that the witnesses understand the solemnity of these proceedings. Be that as it may, it is highly improper for any of the parties to be asking a witness to promise to tell the truth. They have an obligation to tell the truth. They took an oath to tell the truth. And if they don't tell the truth, then they're committing perjury for testifying or giving evidence under oath falsely and should be prosecuted as such. Now, in this with this particular gentleman, he lied on a couple of occasions. Then he told the truth. This has been brought out. There's no need to extract any promises from the witnesses. It is highly improper.
It is what is improper is the argument and accusations that Mr. Karnavas just made. I'm happy to rephrase the question. I agree the question could have been worded better. The question I would like to ask the witness was just to confirm whether the testimony that he's given to the chamber so far, since he has appeared here, has been truthful. And I think that's an appropriate question, and it is inappropriate for Mr. Karnavas to stand up and start accusing someone of being a liar.
The President, Counsel, you may proceed.
Mr. President, first of all, the gentleman was approached by the investigative judges or the investigators. He understood the purpose of the questioning. He was advised of his rights. He gave false testimony at that point in time. And he gave false testimony, and we know this because he was then confronted with Doik. He again gave false testimony, and then on his third interview, he came clean at some point and gave reasonings for providing false testimony. Now, we can characterize it however we wish, but when you're asked a question and you give false answers under oath, it's a form of lying. So there's no accusations being made. I'm just stating a fact. The gentleman acknowledged to having given false testimony. And it's self-serving to say, well, have you told the truth today? He's under oath. What is he going to say? No, I lied. I lied under oath. How useful is that to you, Your Honors? It is up for you to decide after hearing all of the questions from all of the parties. It's improper to simply ask a witness, well, have you told us the truth today? Of course, he's going to say yes. How helpful is that? Thank you.
The President, objection by counsel for Ieng Sari is sustained. Co-prosecutor should not have put this question to the witness. If prosecutor has no further questions concerning the substance of the facts at issue, then the chamber could have been advised so that the floor could be handed over to other parties. Chamber itself needs some time to also put some questions to the witness. After civil party for lawyers put questions to the witness, the chamber needs to put questions to the witness before handing over the floor to the defense counsels. So the time left over from the co-prosecution will be well used by the civil party co-lawyers if co-prosecutor has no further question to put to the witness.
Thank you, Mr. President. I do not have any further questions. I will leave it to the bench if they wish to explore this issue with the witness any further. Thank you.
The President, next the Chamber would like to proceed to the councils for the civil parties to put questions to the witness. Civil party lawyers will have enough time until the first adjournment of the afternoon session. Council T. Srina. Thank you, Mr. President, Your Honors. Good morning, Mr. Sok Tương. The civil party lawyers have a few questions to put to you on top of what the prosecutors have already asked you previously. Yesterday, you already responded to a number of questions by the prosecutors. Now, I would like to go back a little bit to seek some clarification from you, as the civil parties would like your words on this for clarification. The first question would be, do you still recollect who made the decision to choose you as the bodyguard for Nuon Chea? Response: it was Pong who made such decision. Question: is it correct to say that Pong was your immediate superior, or you were under any other supervision from other people? Response: Pong was the only person. Question: when you worked as the bodyguard of Nuon Chea, were you ever educated on the political policies and lines? Response: we were educated on how to protect the cadres and the senior people. Question: the President. Counsel for Keo Samphan, you may proceed.
Good morning, Your Honors. Good morning to all of you. I apologize for interrupting, and I will express the regular complaint of the French speakers, but I would simply like to draw the attention to the fact that we're facing two people who speak Khmer, and that in terms of translation, we need a little longer time between the answer and the question, and also in terms of the speed of. And I want to say this as the start, so I'm sorry for interrupting, but I think it's important so that all parties can be properly informed and be apprised of the same transcripts when they will make their final statements.
The President, thank you, Counsel, for this. Indeed, parties have already been advised on this, and parties have also been fully engaged in such hearings. We have been already 2 years on the road in these trial proceedings, and the Chamber shall expect that such practice could have been well followed by now. Counsel Tisrina, thank you, Mr. President. I will try to be slower than this. Question: when you were instructed on the security matters, could you tell us why were you educated on this? Response, indeed, we were educated on this to protect cadres from being attacked by the enemies. Question. Do you know who conducted the trainings on such policies? Response, we were instructed by Pang. Question. After you were instructed by Pang on the policies of the party, were you immediately assigned by Pang to give protection to Nuon Chea, or there were some time lapse? Response, I was not assigned to give security to him immediately. Question, why was that? Response, because I was a very honest person for the duty. Question, when you met Nuon Chea first time, when was it? Response, it was in 1970. I met him, but I worked for him in 1975 or 1977. Question, could you take some time to think precisely when exactly you had worked for Nuon Chea? Response, I don't remember the details, but it was in 1975 or 1977. There were a lot of events happening back then. Question, so is it fair to say that you don't recollect the event very well, the year very well? Is that correct? Response, yes, it is. Question, when you met Nuon Chea at first, did you meet him alone or with other people? Response, I was sent by other people to give protection to the location where Nuon Chea was in. I was giving such protection from the outside. Question, how many people were with you back then? Response, there were 2 people, I and Sin. Later on, there were other group of people who would be assigned this task, and I don't remember their names. Question, do you still remember whether Nuon Chea had ever talked to you on any particular topic? Response, he did not talk to me about any other things other than educating me on the how to be good guard. The President, Council, could you please be slow as you indicated, because you started to be slow at the beginning and then you were fast after a few questions. Please leave some pause, observe some pauses so that your statements and the responses from the witness could be properly rendered. You may notice that the mic is on and off automatically because it was meant to ensure that interpreters could render your full message. Only after your question is put and that the mic would then be on the side of the witness so that he could respond, and then the mic is on again when time fits for you to put question again. Question, when you met him first, what was your emotion or impression regarding him? Response, I had no other impression because I was with Angka. I just had to do my job. Question, when you worked as the security guard for Nuon Chea, do you know what Nuon Chea roles was? Response, I don't know anything other than his role as a cadre of the regime. Question. I would like to repeat the question. Another question. If Pang assigned you to give protection to Nuon Chea, did Pang brief you on the role of Nuon Chea? Response. I was briefed that Nuon Chea was a cadre. Question. Yesterday, you already responded to question by the prosecutor, but I may wish to seek some clarification from you. When you worked as the bodyguard for Nuon Chea, how long had you worked for him? Response. I worked for him from 1975 through 1978. Mid-1975, rather late 1975 or early 1976. I don't really remember the exact starting point. Question. Yesterday, you testified before the chamber that you escorted Nuon Chea to some areas. Could you tell the court which areas you went to with Nuon Chea? Response, I'm afraid not, because I don't remember the details of those areas. I remember just briefly. Question. Yesterday, you indicated that you escorted Nuon Chea to Battambang, Kampong Chnang, Kampong Spư, and the East Zone. Is that so? Response, yes, it is. Question. When you were on the trip with Nuon Chea to each area, what was your impression on the actual situation? Response, I witnessed people transplant rice in the cooperatives. That's all. Question. You said people were seen transplanting rice. How far were you from the people? Response. People were transplanting rice just near the main road. Question. Could you describe the situation of the people there? Response. They were normal. Question. What about their physical appearance? How were they? Response. Some were thin, some were healthy, some suffered from not having enough to eat.
Question. Did you observe any other circumstances surrounding the area other than the situation of the people in general? Response. At that time, there were a lot of rice surplus. Everyone had rice. But we did not know where the rice had gone. Questions. You said that the people did not have enough things to eat and they were seen, and was that correct? A response, yes, that was correct because they had nothing to eat, that's why they were seen. Question. You said you had been to Battambang province. When you visited or you went to those cooperatives, what was the general impression of the situation? Response: I did not know much about those cooperatives because I was actually an outsider. Question: when you accompany Nuon Chea to the area where Nuon Chea were to visit, what were the activities Nuon Chea did? Response: he inspected the cultivation of rice of people in the cooperative. Question: to refresh your recollection, I would like to ask you to describe the situation when you were accompanying Nuon Chea to Battambang province. What did Nuon Chea do when he was visiting the province? Answer: he normally went there to open the training session, and other than that, he also at the same time he also went to visit the cooperative. Question: back then, did you hear what Nuon Chea said to the people in those cooperatives he visited? Response: no. Question: what was the overall condition of living of people in Battambang province? Response: people were growing rice, and some of them were building canals or dams. Question: did you observe the physical looks, physical conditions of the people in those areas? Response: I did not know and I did not pay attention to it. Question: when Nuon Chea was visiting those areas, who did he see? Sometimes he met with the heads of the cooperatives. Question: did he meet only one cooperative or he met with the heads of many cooperatives? Response: well, he met with many cooperative heads. Wherever he visited, he would meet with the head of cooperatives. Question: so you are saying that when Nuon Chea visited Battambang province, he went down to visit the cooperatives. Is that correct? Response: yes, when he went to any particular areas, then he would visit the cooperatives in those areas. Question: do you recollect when he visited Battambang province? Response: it was sometime in 1977. Question: when Nuon Chea visited Battambang province, did he visit his relatives in Battambang? Response: yes, he visited them once. Do you recall? Do you recall who was that he visited? Response: they were his relatives. Question. When Nuon Chea was visiting the East Zone, did you accompany him? Response. Yes. Question. What was the overall living condition of the people in the East Zone? Response. The situation was normal. Question. What do you mean by normal?
ទៅភាពធម្មតា
Response. It was normal in the sense that people cultivated rice and they lived their normal life. Question. Did people in the East Zone suffer from starvation or lack of food? Response. Well, they were better in terms of food consumption and availability. Question. Yesterday, you told the prosecutor that you accompanied Nuon Chea to visit the first January dams. Do you stand by that statement? Response. Yes, I do. When you got to the first January dams, what was the overall living condition of the people there?
ថាព្រឺ
They carried earthwork and the situation was normal. Could you describe, question, could you describe the earth carrying work and the dam construction? Response. Well, I saw many people building dams and many of them carry earth. Question. Did you see or witness any torture inflicted on the people if they, for example, fail to meet the work quota? So, response. Yes, I did. Response. Questions. When Nuon Chea visited the first January dams, did they stop working in order to welcome him, or they continue to work? Response. Yes, they did continue to work. Question. If the dams were not constructed in the manner that it was instructed, what did you see that? Yes, I did. And question. And
Excusez-moi, Monsieur le Président.
Mr. President, I am intervening again. I crave your indulgence. I really have to intervene again because we are losing a lot in French. I do not know whether Council shouldn't observe a longer pause, but you should bear in mind that the pause should be observed not only between her question and the witness's answer, but also between the witness's answer and the next question, because we are losing a lot in the French interpretation. I am sorry to have to intervene and to slow down the proceedings, but I have no choice but to do so.
the President, the Council, you may proceed. Mr. Angadam. Mr. President, I am of the opinion that if the court may advise not only the counsel or the witness, but also the duty counsel who he is assisting the witness, he can give a signal to the witness before he answer the question. That would help. Secondly, I observed that among the audience in the gallery, there are Buddhist monks as well, and it was the instruction from the court that it is not a requirement for the Buddhist monk to rise when the bench is entering the room. So I would like you to once again try to observe your decision with respect to that matter. Thank you. The President, I believe that parties understand this situation very well, because the civil parties as well as other parties have participated in the proceeding for quite some time already, and the Chamber has reminded party many times already. And I believe that the witness would respond to the question based on the signal on the mic. His mic is on, then he would respond to the question. And the Chamber advised the AV personnel to ensure that there is a pause between the parties putting the question and the witness answering to the question. So once again, I wish to remind the witness that you should answer the question only when your mic is on. And court officer, please ensure that the seat of the witness is arranged in a manner that he can see the light on his mic. President, please move it to the east so that the witness can easily see the light. Question. When you witnessed that the dam was not constructed very well, did Nuon Chea see that? Answer, yes, he did. Question. When he saw that, what was his reaction? Response, he did not react noticeably. He simply summoned others to advise them. Who did he invite for advice? Response, he would ask those who were responsible for the project for advice. Question. Did you know the content of Nuon Chea's advice to the head of the project? Response. Sometimes Nuon Chea gave advice on the spot, and sometimes he invited those who were responsible for the projects to come to the place in order to give them advice or instruction. Question. Other than summoning the person responsible for the projects, did Nuon Chea address the workers in the project concerning the dam construction? Response. Sometimes he invited the head of the cooperatives and projects, or sometimes he addressed the mass. Question. When Nuon Chea addressed the mass, or he told the people of the overall condition of the dams, what was the overall physical condition of the people or workers over there?
អត់ដឹងដែរ
Respond. I did not know, and I don't know how to respond to this question. But they work as normal, and I did not know how to analyze the situation back then. Question. Beside the visit to the first January dams, did you accompany Nuon Chea to visit any other dams in the country? Council repeats. Can you please answer to that question again, because the mic was not activated just now? The President. Council, please repeat your last question to the witness, because just now the witness answered when the mic was not activated. Question. Besides visiting the first January dam, did you accompany Nuon Chea to visit any other dams across the country?
គាត់ទៅមក
Response. He went to visit many other dams construction sites, but I did not always accompany him on those visits. Questions. Now I would like to turn to the to Nuon Chea's visit to China. My question is, when you accompanied him to China, did you witness any signing of any agreement between Nuon Chea and the leader of China? Please repeat your answer, since your mic was not on just now. Response. Back then I did not know much. Actually at that time they met among the leaders, and it was not my business, so I did not know. Question. I would like to turn back a bit to the question and statement you made yesterday. Yesterday you testified to the question put by the prosecution that when you first arrived in Phnom Penh, you stayed in B20. Can you tell us what was the role of B20? B20 was used as a place to mobilize forces on a temporary basis. So new forces would be put in that office before they are transferred to different places. Question. Beside this place, did you know that B20 was also a training camp for the cadres of the Communist Party of Cambodia before they are designated to different posts in the regime? The President, please hold on. Before you answer the question, make sure that your mic is on. Counsel, I would like to pose the question again. Yesterday, you told the prosecutor that before you arrived in Phnom Penh, you stayed in B20. So my question is, can you tell us what the role or function of B20 was? Just now you said that it was an interim place for labor force or forces. And my question is, did you ever hear that this B20 was a training camp for the cadres of the Communist Party of Cambodia before they were designated to undertake different posts in the regimes? Did you hear about that? Response. For B20, B20 was an office where forces from the countryside would stay temporarily, and then they would select those forces and designate them to different places. And it was under the supervision of Pong, but the cadres did not stay there. It was an office for mobilizing or gathering forces before they are designated to other places. Question. Were there any education or training before those forces were sent out? Response. Yes, those who came to this office were trained before they were sent out to different offices. Question. Yesterday you answered to the question posed by the prosecution concerning the revolutionary flag. And yesterday you said that you could not read and write very well, but Kami was the one who read the content of the revolutionary flag magazine to you. So after he read the content of the revolutionary flag, did Kami explain you or say anything to you concerning this revolutionary flag? A response. He educated us. He tried to encourage us to be more patriotic. Question. Did you know the reason why Kami had to read out the content of the revolutionary flag to you? Response. Because at that time, the majority of us did not read and write well. So some of us did not even read Khmer, so the content of the magazine must be read to us.
តើគាត់អានឲ្យស្ដាប់ដើម្បីអ្វី
What was the main purpose of reading this magazine?
ដើម្បីយល់
In order to enhance our understanding and comprehension of the revolutionary flag.
កាលពីព្រឹកមិញលោកបានឆ្លើយជាមួយនឹងខាងប្រេង
This morning you testified that your security guard team was assigned to provide the security guard for the commemoration of the anniversary of the party. Particularly, your team provided the security for the leaders. So after the conclusion of the ceremony, did you inspect the place where the leader went to?
ធម្មតាចូល
Response: Yes, it was our routine work. We had to conduct inspection.
តើលោកមានបានប្រទះឃើញអ្វីខ្លះ
Did you discover anything?
អត់
Response: None.
ពីព្រឹកមិញលោកក៏បានឆ្លើយសំណួរមួយចំនួន
Question: This morning you also testified in relation to the to Dutch and Nuon Chea. So I would like to ask further question regarding this matter. Did you ever see Dutch visit Nuon Chea's workplace?
អត់ដែលឃើញ
Response: No, I didn't.
អញ្ចឹងមានន័យថានួនជាមិនដែលទៅកន្លែង
Question: So you are saying that
ទៅជួបនួនជា
you never saw Dutch visit Nuon Chea's workplace. Is that correct?
អត់ឃើញអត់ដឹង
Response: No, I didn't, and I did not know. I did not know who else went there.
បាទឥឡូវនេះដល់ពេល
The President, the time is now appropriate for lunch adjournment. The chamber will adjourn from now until 1:30 this afternoon. We thank you, the witness, and witness will continue to provide testimony this afternoon, and the civil party lawyers will have more than 1 hour more to put question to the witness. Court officers is instructed to arrange the place for the rest of the witness and the duty counsel for this witness, and please ensure that the witness is brought before the chamber before 1:30 this afternoon. I note that the defense counsel is on his feet. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honour. Briefly, for the usual reasons, Nuon Chea would wish to retire to the holding cell for the afternoon session, and we've prepared the paperwork. Thank you.
តាមដានសវនកម្មនៅបន្ទប់រងចាំងខាងក្រោមហើយយើងខ្ញុំនឹងបំពេញបែបបទសំណើនេះលោកធាន
បាទ
The President, Council, please be seated. The Chamber has noted the request by Nuon Chea through his counsel. He has asked that he be excused and allowed to observe the proceeding from his holding cell. He has expressly indicated that he waived his right to be present in this courtroom. And he has indicated that he would give the chamber the waiver signed or given some print by him. The chamber therefore grants such a request, and that Nuon Chea is now permitted to observe the proceeding from his holding cell for the whole afternoon session. He has waived his right to present directly in the courtroom. The chamber now would like to ask counsels for Nuon Chea to present the waiver to the chamber immediately and ensure that the waiver is signed or given thumbprint by the accused person. AV booth officers are now instructed to ensure that the holding cell is well connected to the video link so that he can observe the proceeding for the whole afternoon. Security personnel are now instructed to bring both Nuon Chea and Khieu Samphan to their holding cells and return Khieu Samphan to the courtroom in the afternoon session by 1:30. The court is adjourned.
សូមអញ្ជើញក្រោយជើ